Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
General George Armstrong Custer led the 7th Cavalry against an overwhelming force of Sioux and Cheyenne Indians at the Little Bighorn in 1876. Custer and 264 officers and men were slaughtered. 2 years later, the American press and public were still arguing about the Custer tragedy. The general's enemies called him a glory hunter who unknowingly led the 7th Cavalry into a massacre. The general's friends said he was betrayed by subordinate officers. Time has proved both theories false. But in the bitterness of the dispute, General Custer had only one ardent champion, his widow.
You remain standing, gentlemen. Will you come in, please, Mrs. Custer?
Thank you, Colonel Benteen. Gentlemen, please do make yourselves comfortable. I know all of you by your first names, so we needn't be strangers now. General Sheridan has just telegraphed me. He says that Colonel Reno must be granted an official court of inquiry. The court will be held in Chicago. I assume that all of you will be witnesses. Am I correct, Colonel Benteen?
That's right, ma'am. And I can assure you that General Custer's memory will be respected by every man in this room. Oh, we had our differences, but it was always give and take. We despise Reno. None of us has spoken to him socially these years.
Then you've already discussed... I mean, you'll say nothing against Colonel Reno that might reflect on General Custer.
Oh, no. Or the regiment.
Here, here. Mrs. Custer, you will always have our love and loyalty.
Thank you. Thank you. This is most kind. I won't detain you longer.
That will be all, gentlemen.
Don't worry, Mrs. Custer. You and the 7th have suffered long enough.
Well, now, that's settled.
They faced it as I prayed they would. But there's still this fellow Hendon.
Chris Hendon? What's he pestering you about?
This came yesterday. He wants money, I think. I'm supposed to meet him in Dodge City.
This is nonsense. I'll burn the thing.
No, please. He was one of Reno's civilian scouts. He'll be called to testify.
Well, let him testify.
But, Colonel, he could ruin us all. He's a civilian, and the newspapers would be eager to print any lies he told.
Oh, Betty, you're carrying this thing too far. Oh, yes. Now, I've never had any occasion to say this before, but you can't be bothered by every blackmailing scamp or rascal who writes you a letter. I remember Hendon. I think he bolted before Reno made the charge that day. I certainly don't recall seeing him on the hill when we stopped Reno from running away.
Well, he could say he was with General Custer. He could say anything.
All right. Now, Wyatt Earp, the marshal at Dodge, is a good friend of mine. I'll telegraph him to arrest Hendon.
No, Colonel, I beg of you. If we anger the man, he'll... All right, I'll just ignore him. Your first idea's best. Let him testify.
Good. Well, I must be running along. But Mrs. Benteen and I will see you at dinner, eh?
Oh, yes, of course.
And put a match to this and forget it.
He was a show-off, a glory hunter. I charge him with full responsibility for our defeat.
If you ask me, he didn't die like a hero.
I think he was just as big a coward as Reno.
The Army can't cover it up forever. Somebody will tell the real truth.
Miss Custer?
Sergeant Turner, Corporal Mills.
Mrs. Custer?
Is Mr. Hendon in Dodge City?
Yes, he is. He's still hanging around the saloons.
Bragging around town what he could tell if he had a mind to.
You just say the word, Mrs. Custer. We'll go back to Dodge.
Yeah, Henry won't bother you no more, Mrs. Custer.
We can't do anything like that. How much longer will you men be on furlough?
11 days.
I must talk to Hendon. It's the only way, Sergeant. Will you and Corporal Mills drive me to Dodge City?
Well, of course, but shouldn't you ask Colonel Benton?
No. No. We must start at once. And please say nothing to Colonel Benteen or to anyone else.
All right.
Rent a good team and carriage from the Sutler. I'll meet you at the North Gate in half an hour.
We'll be there, Mrs. Custer.
Oh, Wyatt. Looking for you. Telegram from Colonel Benteen at the fort. Operator at the depot brought it over himself. Said it was extra urgent.
Now, the Army wants 2 soldiers named Mills and Turner arrested. They're on furlough wearing civilian clothes. The rest of it's just a description of the men. Now, you pull a deputy off patrol and do just what the colonel says. You sure saved my neck in that dull knife business, remember?
Sure do. We'll ring out the town.
Somebody chasing you?
Yeah, a couple of soldiers. They're trying to kill me. I want them arrested.
Mills and Turner?
Yeah. How'd you know?
The Army wants them arrested, too. What's your name?
Hendon. Chris Hendon. I used to be a civilian scout for Reno. Those troopers was in the same outfit. 7th Cavalry.
Put that gun on the desk.
Gun? Oh, sure. I had to carry it, Marshal. My life's in danger.
Why?
Just an old grudge between them and me. I thought they'd forget about it, but suddenly like I turned around on the street and there they was, following me.
Hmm. Well, my deputies are looking for him now. This will make it easier. Come on.
Oh, no.
Why not?
I don't go wandering around out there and get plugged from some doorway.
Mr. Hendon, you asked me to protect you. Now, the easiest way to do that is to try and arrest those 2 soldiers quick. I'll get my hat. Let's move.
Not me.
Well, it looks like you got the right men.
We're tailing somebody halfway down the block.
That's them. That's Mills and that's Turner. I want to charge them with an attempt to commit murder.
Were they packing guns?
No, sir.
Colonel Benteen wired a request to hold you for the Army. You got any idea why the colonel wants you?
No, sir.
Lock him up.
Come on, move.
Move.
Come on.
What about my charges against them?
Tell it to the Army. Now, you check this gun or get out of town. If you take my advice, you'll get out of town. You may run into some more soldiers.
That what you call police protection? What are you in cahoots with the Army?
I don't think I like you, Mr. Hendon. You stay in this town, you be ready to protect yourself. Now, quit wasting my time.
There's a lady at the Dodge house. She said she's got to see you right away.
Who's the lady?
It's a Mrs. Elizabeth Bacon. She wouldn't tell me what it was about, but she acted awful worried.
All right. Did you get a good look at that fella?
Yes, sir.
His name is Chris Hendon. I want you to keep an eye on him.
Horse thief or cow rustler?
2 soldiers were after him. They usually got a good nose for a skunk. Go on.
Sergeant Turner?
No, ma'am, Marshal F.
Oh. One moment.
My deputies gave me your message, Mrs. Bacon.
Come in.
Thank you.
I used my maiden name to register. My married name is Custer. Mrs. George Armstrong Custer.
Mrs. Custer?
That doesn't surprise you.
No, ma'am, I've seen your picture.
Mr. Earp, 2 soldier friends of mine have disappeared. I'm afraid that something might have happened to them.
Sergeant Turner and Corporal Mills?
Yes. Have you seen them?
They're being held for the Army. Colonel Bentine's request.
You put them in jail? Oh, that's nonsense. Colonel Bentine has no right to. I must ask that you release Turner and Mills at once.
I'm sorry, but I can't do that, ma'am.
Very well. Then I shall have to employ a lawyer. Could you recommend one? Mr. Earp, lawyer's name, please.
Well, Mrs. Custer, that would be a waste of money. I can hold those soldiers for 24 hours, even against a writ of habeas corpus.
Marshal, I know a little about law. What charge has Colonel Bentine lodged against them?
I have a charge of my own, ma'am.
Indeed. What law did they break?
They assaulted a Mr. Chris Hendon.
Hendon? No, they promised me they wouldn't. Did they injure Mr. Hendon?
Not much, no. Is Mr. Hendon a friend of yours?
I've never met the man. Why do you ask?
Well, you seem very concerned about Mr. Hendon's health, and you asked the soldiers not to hurt him.
Marshal, is this a police interrogation?
Mrs. Custer, Mr. Hendon claims to have been a civilian scout with Reno. Colonel Bentine and I went through a rather bad time together right after the Little Bighorn fight. An Indian agent tried to bribe some runaway soldiers into telling lies about Colonel Bentine and the 7th Cavalry.
Are you suggesting Mr. Hendon might try to blackmail me?
He might try it, yes.
How absurd. General Custer needs no defense. You're being rather impertinent, aren't you?
Well, I don't mean it that way, Mrs. Custer. I'd like to help you.
All right, help me. Turn those men loose and forget your suspicions of Mr. Hendon.
Well, I can't do that, ma'am.
Good day, Mr. Earp.
I know the torment that you've been living through. People have lied so much about General Custer, you don't know where the next attack is coming from. Well, you've got me stubborn. I'm going to help you in spite of yourself. Oh, Hal. I told Ted to watch Mr. Hendon. Have you seen him?
Yeah, Hendon's in the Long Branch. Ted's waiting up the street.
Yeah, we'll go pull Ted off. I want both of you to watch the hotel, front and back. If Mr. Hendon goes inside, you send for me. If he leaves, don't wait for me, arrest him.
Right.
I just had a talk with Mrs. Custer. She got worried when you didn't check in and sent for me. I had to tell her the truth.
All right.
Now, Colonel Bentine will be here for you in a couple of hours. Can either one of you persuade Mrs. Custer not to pay off to Hendon?
We don't know what you're talking about, Earp.
I think you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you'll answer me one question, though. Has Mrs. Custer ever heard what the Indians have to say about the fight at the Little Bighorn?
After the massacre at Little Bighorn, she can't stand the sight of Injuns.
Well, I know a Cheyenne chief that was there. Chief Wolfhead. Mrs. Custer would...
Hendon just now went into the hotel.
Let's go.
You'd better leave town at once.
Oh, well, I want to live the same as anybody else. That's why I had to come to you for help. I can get a fresh start now in Mexico.
Remember your agreement to stay there.
Oh, well, a deal is a deal. Good luck, Mrs. Custer. Hold it!
Mr. Clark, I want you to search this man. Thank you. Mr. Clark, I want you to remember this. I may need you to testify. Throw some water on. throw him in jail.
Right. Get some water, will you?
You can't be serious.
Mr. Hendon asked Mrs. Custer for money, and she gave it to him. Look, there's the evidence. Now, don't you want to book Hendon for extortion instead of blackmail?
He mustn't be booked at all. That would involve her, the regiment, Sherman, Sheridan, even Grant.
If Mrs. Custer will do what I suggest.
That is the most complete fool nonsense I've ever heard. General Custer's widow meeting with a Cheyenne renegade.
Wolfhead is a brave chief, and you know it.
Oh,
now listen to me. This poor woman is going to be haunted by liars the rest of her life. She needs to hear the truth just once.
From Wolfhead?
He at least saw General Custer die. You weren't on that hill. You were kept busy saving your own command in Reno's, on a bluff 3 miles away, isn't that right? Well, then will you please go ask Mrs. Custer?
All right. I'll ask her. I'll try. But she's liable to come marching in here and make you sorry I did.
The perils of war, Colonel.
Come in.
Mr. Earp, I will not be forced into a ridiculous gesture. Chief Wolfhead. A lying, filthy savage. One of the fiends who killed my husband and his men.
All right.
I must also demand that you drop your charges against Mr. Hendon.
Mrs. Custer, I'm a civilian. You don't give me orders. Does this money belong to you?
If you took it from Mr. Hendon, I assume that at least part of it is what I gave him. As a loan.
A loan?
Yes.
May I quote you?
What is that?
Part of my report. I may turn it into the Dodge City Globe.
You wouldn't dare.
Yes, I would.
You'd ruin us all, including your friend, Colonel Benteen. You oblige me to tell you that Colonel Reno will be given a court of inquiry. All surviving officers, scouts, and many enlisted men will be called to testify. Don't you realize what the newspapers could do to us? The fact that I loaned money to Hendon would be twisted to make it appear as though I'm trying to influence witnesses.
Aren't you?
That's preposterous. The memory of my husband, his name and reputation are all that matter to me.
Yes. But do you think you should lend money to a man like Mr. Hendon?
What right have you to question my motives?
He's a crook. He tried to blackmail you.
Prove it.
No, I won't even try. Here's your evidence back. No story in the paper. Al, bring Mr. Hendon in here.
Yes, sir.
I told you that I was stubborn and that I'd try to help you in spite of yourself. But all this faith and loyalty you profess just doesn't exist.
Why, you unspeakable.
Calling names won't change my opinion. I have more respect for General Custer than you have.
I'll listen to no more of this.
No, you'd rather spend the rest of your life listening to liars. Well, I know what happened at the Little Bighorn. I wasn't too proud to talk to the Indians about it. Savages in battle, yes, but honest men. Your husband's name is safer with them than it will ever be with men like this. Mr. Hendon, I'm releasing you. You get out of town quick. Mills and Turner will be back tomorrow, and anything that they do to you after that will be an accident. Throw them out.
Come on, move.
Where is this Chief Wolfhead?
At the fort, the hostile stockade.
Will you come with me? We'll leave as soon as my soldier friends get back. Good night, Mr. Earp.
Good night, Mrs. Custer.
They put a chief in here?
It's what the government calls a temporary stockade. The big stockade is a reservation.
2 visitors. Approved by Colonel Benteen.
Let me help you, man. There you go. Chief Wolfhead. Wyatt Earp.
My friend.
Mrs. Custer, may I present Chief Wolfhead?
Widow of Longhair. There is sadness for you in my heart. She was brave to come here. Do not stay long. Many are sick here.
Our government could do better for you than this.
There was fighting. We are prisoners of war. Out of respect for General Custer, what shall I say?
I'll ask some questions. Mrs. Custer, perhaps we can make this bench comfortable.
Longhair and Pony soldiers retreat to hill here. Chief Gall attacked on front and right. Crazy Horse lead many warriors to strike Longhair from left. I am told to move Cheyennes uphill from rear. Soon we have General Custer surrounded. We have 10 times more men. We have rifles that shoot quick, 12 times, Winchesters. Soldiers shoot only once, then have to reload. It was not a fair fight.
Did General Custer try to run away?
Run away? He is Longhair, brave soldier. He stands ground what is no bigger than his shadow. He fight to the last.
A lot of our people blame General Custer for not uniting his command. Some of them say he should have waited for the Terry and Gibbon columns to arrive. Now, what do the Indians think about that talk?
Stupid. There is dust and smoke. How could Longhair and his scouts count our warriors? We hide most of them in hills until fight commence.
Chief Wolfhead, a lot of our people who weren't there say that if Reno and Benteen had charged straight for the hill, they could have saved General Custer.
No, not enough soldiers. Too many of us.
And what if General Custer had waited for the Terry and Gibbon columns?
My friend, they would all be dead. I feel anger here when white soldiers blame each other.
Any questions, man?
No. It was war. My husband had his victories. It was ordained that he suffer one defeat. I realize that now.
Mrs. Custer, I have my defeat also. The Great Spirit allowed your great husband to follow the guns and trumpets and pass from this world with honor. I am not so honored.
I'm sad for you, Chief Wolfhead. This will be changed. You've taken my fear of liars away. I'm deeply grateful. Come, Mr. Earp, we mustn't dawdle.
Yes, sir.
I have to see the commandant about those dreadful conditions in the stockade. Then I leave for Chicago to tell General Sheridan what I've learned from Chief Wolfhead. Thank you.
Let's go.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous.
Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
Yes, sir, gents, it is a free exhibition. Champ Starbuck, #1 contender for the heavyweight championship, and it's free, free, free. Yes, sir, win up to $1,000 in gold. The champ will meet all comers. Oh, Sonny, stand that up for me over here, will you? Thanks.
$100 given away to any man who can stay in the ring with the champion for 1 round, 3 minutes. $1,000 to the man who can beat him.
Yes, sir, gents, now here's a chance for you to make a little extra change. You there, you look like a man that ought to be able to handle himself.
Where's this champ of yours, mister?
Oh, he'll be here this afternoon. Tell me, what do you weigh, mister?
215, that's before dinner. About 225 after.
Well, now, mister, the champ only weighs 190 pounds. Now, I'm sure you wouldn't want to fight a man that much lighter than you, would you?
For $1,000? Why, I'd fight one of my own mules for that. Your man better be here, like you say.
Of course, of course. He'll be here, all right.
Say, mister, is all that free? I mean, trying for that $100 and everything?
Why, certainly, Sonny. The exhibition is free, and it'll only cost $10 to try for the big money. See you all later this afternoon.
I'll be there.
I've called for a drink. Come on.
You better save your money, young fella. That man's a professional boxer.
Oh, well, I don't expect to beat him. I just thought maybe I could stay out of his way for 3 minutes. That's not so long.
That's long enough to get disfigured for life. You take Marshal Earp's advice and forget it. I've seen that man fight.
Well, I'd like to try it.
You say you've seen this fella Starbuck fight?
Yeah, in Wichita last year. He's good. Strong as a bull and fast.
Seems like a strange way to make a living.
Yeah, he makes a good one, too. I saw him take on 19 men in 2 hours. Not one of them lasted the 3 minutes. See, that's $190 plus whatever his manager won, covering bets.
Hey, Bars.
Yeah.
That's Earp, the tall, black-haired one.
All right.
You think your fighter can handle him?
Oh, now, please, Mr. Moresby, let's not joke, huh? Champ will break him in two.
I hope.
Yes, sir, for what you're paying us, we can bust him up pretty good.
All right.
$172, 173 at most. And Moresby sure hates him. I don't know why. All right, come on, get up, wake up. You can't sleep all day, you got work to do. Come on, get up. Wake up.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, you look half-starved.
Say, did you ever run into that fellow, what's his name, Moresby?
Yeah. And the man Moresby wants flattened is the town marshal.
Frank, you got a short memory. You remember that deputy up in Abilene? He come looking for us with a gun.
Yes, but this isn't just a deputy. This is Wyatt Earp himself. From the way I hear it, if we beat him fair and square, he ain't gonna come after you with no gun.
And from the way I hear it, he's pretty handy with his fist.
Oh, when you get through with him, he won't even have enough strength to lift a gun. Besides, if we bust him up pretty good, we get a bonus.
How much?
300.
How much?
All right, 500.
500. Frank, the trouble with you is you ain't honest.
Look, I don't want you using those knocks on anybody but Wyatt Earp. Too many broken jaws around here, and he'll get suspicious. Come on, give them to me. All right. Now get dressed. I'm going over to the saloon.
Oh, he's standing in
Hey, that's 200 pounds. 200 pounds. Hey, look at that.
How many?
Look at that. Look at that.
He won't make it. I bet he don't make it.
Oh, you won't make it.
Never mind them feats of strength. Let's get to the fighting. Come on.
Very well, gentlemen. The champ will now proceed to take on all comers.
That's right.
And the fee is only $10. Yes, sir, gentlemen, you got a chance to increase your money to the odds of 100 to 1. $1,000 United States currency for any man who beats the champ. And $100 United States currency for any man who stays one round. Now just take a look at him, gentlemen. He's an ordinary man like the rest of you. But he's willing to pit his strength and his skill against any one of you. All right. Now, who's the first one? The champion. Who is it? Here I am. Yes, put those on, my friend. Over here. Take him.
Even if he was sober, that cowhand would get his head knocked off.
I don't know. He looks pretty strong to me.
Come on now, Bob. Get into it.
Looks pretty good, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All right. Now, who's the next lucky man?
Me.
Step right into the ring now, mister.
I got $10 so the champ can't drop him in 3 minutes.
You're covered. Are there any other bets like this?
You'll win your bet, don't worry.
Hey, he's a little big for you, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, maybe so. I'd like to try him, though. If I had $10. Will he be here tomorrow?
Don't know.
Well, I need $3 more. Maybe I'll learn that at the livery stable.
What are you trying to do, scare everybody away?
The big slob made me mad.
Well, you can't afford to lose your temper.
Hey, Boris.
What about the marshal? What about Marshal Earp?
Marshall's got more important things to do. Come on, Wyatt. We've got to finish our work.
No, wait a minute. Our job's not that important. Anyway, all the action's here today.
Wyatt, please, don't get into the ring with him. He'll ruin you.
Look, I'm not exactly a stranger to the manly art, you know.
Wyatt, I'm telling you, the man's a professional.
Well, maybe the $10 fee's too much for the marshal. I'll tell you what, Marshal. The champ will waive the fee, just to show you he's a good sport.
There you are, Marshal. How do you like it? Not the money. Earp won't fight unless he knows he can win.
Wyatt, listen to me. You aren't so conceited that you have to accept every challenge you get. Is getting into that ring part of your job?
Let's go.
What are we going to do now, boss?
Have to try again.
You're going to stay another day, aren't you?
What for? Only took in $40, including the bets I covered. And he's eating up most of that right now.
I'll give you an extra 100 if you'll stay one more day.
Whether I work or not?
Yes. Except that you've got to agree to meet Earp, if we can get him to do it.
And how are you going to do that? The man just won't fight?
You haven't used the right approach. You've got to invite him into the ring in front of the whole town. Then if he refuses, you call him yellow right to his face.
Yeah, sure. I've seen men get shot for a lot less than that.
Not by Earp, you haven't. He won't shoot an unarmed man.
That $500 bonus still stand?
Of course.
Hey, you! Bring me another one of these steaks.
Oh, good morning, Marshal.
Good morning. Well, it sounds like you're enjoying your work this morning.
Well, it's not only the work. I'll soon have enough money to fight the champ.
Oh, is he still here in town?
Yes, sir.
You know, what Sheriff Masterson said to you yesterday was good advice. This fellow's a professional, and he could really hurt you badly.
Well, if I tried to beat him, yes, sir, but... Well, I've made a little study of boxing, and I think I can stay out of his way for at least one round. Now, I need the money. I'd like to get back home.
Well, you don't like it here in Kansas, huh?
No, it's not that, sir. It's just that, well, my family's in New York, and, well, I was on my way out to California, but things just didn't work out.
Oh. Well, look, I can lend you enough money to get home, then you wouldn't have to fight in the...
Oh, no, thank you, Marshal. I appreciate that very much, but, well, it's more than just the money.
Oh?
Well, I'm interested in professional boxing myself, and, well, this would be the best experience I could get, especially if I could win some money to boot.
Well, I wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Does he hear you?
Not yet. We better get started, make it look right.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I see plenty of seats, so make yourself all comfortable. Now, I see a lot of familiar faces here, so there's no reason for my going into great detail. Just want to know who's going to be the first man to challenge the champ. Now, as you know, for every round you stay with him, there's $100 in United States currency. And there is $1,000 in...
I'll try it, mister. Here's the money.
Oh, now, aren't you a little bit young for this sort of thing, Sonny? Come on back next summer. We'll be here again.
I'm ready now. Your sign said all comers.
The kid's right. Give him a chance.
All right. We have the 10, Sonny. You asked for it. Here are your gloves. Now go on over in your corner. There it is, right over there.
You're making a mistake. He's gonna hurt you real bad.
I'm gonna fight him, sir.
All right. But keep away from him as long as you can. And stick that left hand out in front of you. You might be able to last 3 minutes at that.
Yes, sir.
Get these on.
All right, now just give him some of the regular show for a couple of minutes and then drop him. You don't have to hurt him too bad. How you doing over there?
Ready.
Go.
Come on, champ. Show that smart
Here we go, baby.
Come on. Come on.
Forward,
Boy.
Keep away from him.
Keep away from him.
Minutes up. Good boy, I thought you might be able to do it at that. Come on, we'll get these things
No,
on.
I'm not quitting.
You won the $100.
I'm trying for the 1,000. I might be able to beat him.
Okay.
What's the matter with you anyway?
He's too fast. He can't hurt me, but he's too fast.
All right. All right, then we've got to use these. No, we're not made of money. It's already cost us 100.
Start some action. All right, I got some betting money here. Anybody like that kid? I'm still betting on Starbuck. What do you say?
I got you, mister, right over here.
Here,
I got
Starbuck. What do you say?
Right over here.
You ready, son?
Let's go.
Ready, Jack?
How much?
Come on,
Give me a hand. Put him on the bench. Take it easy with him. Take it easy. Take it easy. Pull him down with it.
Now, just take it easy. Just take it easy.
Ribs feel broken. Marshal, listen. He didn't hit me that hard.
Huh?
There's something in his glove. I'm sure of it.
Get you over to the doctor. Can you walk?
Yeah, I think so.
See that he gets there.
Hey, wait a minute.
I've waited long enough. Go on.
Go ahead, challenge him now.
Doesn't look like I'm going to have to.
Do it anyway.
Well, Marshal, you going to fight me anyway?
I sure don't.
Or you yellow like everybody's been saying?
Let me see your hands, Starbuck.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
Let me see your
Marshal.
hands.
Let me see the other one. You know, I've met a lot of miserable men in my business, Starbuck. Quite a few cowards. But none of them as bad as you. Now, I've never said this to anyone before, but I'm saying it now. If I ever catch you in this town again, I'm liable to shoot you down like a mad dog.
I believe you. Since we're talking so plain, Marshal, I got a few things to say, too. You're no different than 100 gun slicks I run into around this country. Take them guns off and you ain't half a man.
Do we still get that 500?
Of course.
One time the marshal's going to get away.
We're not fighting your rules now. No gloves, no rounds. One of us is going to walk away from here, and the other's going to be carried away.
That's fine with me. Wait a minute, what about him?
Worry about him. Take care of yourself.
Mr. Masterson, it looks like the champ would like a fair fight for a change. You take off your guns.
I've got
You ain't fighting no kid now, Starbuck. Let's go, mister. Come on, get him.
missed the best part.
Right, I told you one of us was going to get carried out of here. You carry him out. And don't even show your face in this town again, either of you.
All right, Marshal.
Now, just a minute. It's a matter of $100 to that boy who stayed around with your ex-champ.
We better get out of here.
All right, that's all I got. Better collect the rest from Moresby. Promised us $500 if we chopped you up.
Moresby! Come on, Jim. I need $65 from you. Thank you, Mr. Moresby. Now, the next time you feel I need a beating, I hope you'll try it yourself. I'll be happy to accommodate you. Now, in the meantime, I suggest you make your headquarters in some other city.
Hello, Marshal Earp.
Well, hi, fella. How do you feel?
Oh, not too bad. Doc McCarty said I cracked one of my ribs. He's got me so taped up I can hardly breathe.
Well, say, here's the money you won.
Oh, thanks very much, sir. Sheriff Masterson was telling me about your fight. I sure wish I could have seen it.
Well, it's a lot of fun while it lasted, I'll have to admit that.
Well, now you know how I feel about fighting and why I want to be a professional.
Yeah, I guess I do. Well, I wish you a lot of luck. I hope I'll be hearing a lot about you someday.
You will, Mr. Earp. Well, thanks again for everything.
Well, say, by the way, if I'm going to be following your career, I ought to know who you are. Just occurs to me I never did get your name.
Oh, Fitzsimmons, sir. Bob Fitzsimmons. Well, thanks again. It was nice to have known you both.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Long may his story be told.
Lou, if you got any sense at all, you'll get some rest.
I can't sleep.
You better. We better save our strength for tomorrow.
I'll have plenty. Right after they holler lunch. You get this pain, see, and...
No need to go over it anymore, Lou. I'll handle my end of it. Relax.
I won't be relaxing until I've settled up with the skunk that put me in here.
You've been talking about this Wyatt Earp and what you're gonna do to him for years. So where do you think will be the first place they look for you? Dodge City, that's where.
Let them look. Maybe they'll even find me. But not till I've paid Earp what I owe him.
Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
Ah. Afternoon, Mr. Hogan.
Oh, Marshal.
How are things?
Oh, real quiet, Marshal. Marshal, I've been meaning to ask you
if you could take over the night shift, Mr. Hogan?
Yes, sir.
Pretty soon, pretty soon.
Is it always so quiet, Marshal?
No, not always, but this is the way I like it. And you will, too, before too long.
Hey, you're about to lose a button there.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. You know, one of these days, somebody's going to invent a button that won't come off. Any interesting mail?
Usual stuff. Nothing urgent.
Well, you're off duty. And it's a nice Saturday afternoon. Hal and I can handle it. Say, hadn't I heard something about you and that pretty young widow? What's her name?
It's only wishful thinking, Marshal. I can't hardly get her to talk to me.
Well, maybe you're using the wrong approach, huh?
Maybe. Well, I'm not alone. Evidently, every other bachelor in Dodge is using the wrong approach, too.
Marshal, this just came in for you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Rankin, but there's no need for such haste.
Read it, Marshal.
All right, but just sit down and rest yourself.
I can't. I got to get back to the telegraph.
Something bad, Marshal?
No, a fellow by the name of Lou Dundee just escaped from a road gang.
The warden says he's positive Dundee's headed for Dodge City. He says he's after you.
Maybe. Mr. Hogan, after you're a lawman for a while, you'll find out you just can't help making enemies.
Well, you put more lawbreakers in jail than the others.
Well, I prefer that to killing them.
Yes, sir. Marshal, this man Dundee, he's...
If he hasn't changed since I sent him to prison and comes here, I'll send him back.
Yes, sir. Afternoon, Marshal.
Afternoon, Mr. Hogan.
Come in, please.
Hello, Marshal.
Good afternoon. I'll be with you in a moment, sir.
Thank you. No hurry. Well, Mr. Hogan, looks like you have the same problem I have. It must be an occupational disease, huh?
There you are, Mr. Hogan. That's the fourth one this week.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Miss Phillips. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Marshal?
Is there something I can help you with, Marshal?
Yes, ma'am, I think there is.
Another button?
I'm afraid so.
I declare, in the short time I've been in Dodge City, I've seen more buttons come loose than I believed was possible.
Well, I think I can understand it, Mrs. Phillips.
Would you take off your coat, please, Mr. Erb?
Hmm? Oh, sure. Sorry. Oh, it's, here it is, right there.
Mm-hmm. This button's been sewn on before, I see.
Yeah, I'm afraid so, and, by an amateur.
You?
Yes, sir. I'm a bachelor, you know.
Yes, I know. Excuse me. My hand seems a bit unsteady today.
Well, maybe you're tired.
Maybe.
There, you got it. Are you planning to make Dodge City your home, Mrs. Phillips?
Well, I haven't decided yet, Mr. Earp. My husband spoke so often about going west.
Well, I can understand how he felt.
I'm sorry Mr. Phillips didn't live to see his dreams come true.
So am I.
Thank you. He was a good, kind man, almost like a father to me. Quite a bit older than I, but a wonderful gentleman. There you are, Marshal.
Thank you very much. That was quick.
Uh-huh. Oh, you have a thread hanging.
Well, that's all right. I can fix it.
Just hold still. There now. That'll stay put for a good long time.
I'm sure it will. Mrs. Phillips, I'd like to...
To pay me for it? Oh, for one little button.
Somebody performs a service, you ought to...
Well, think of it as a favor from one friend to another.
Well, thank you kindly, ma'am.
You're welcome. Of course, if your lady friend should require any dressmaking, you might mention my name.
I'm all alone, Mrs. Phillips.
Oh, I know how you feel. Being all alone, too.
That's kind of an unhappy state. I'd be honored to be allowed to do something about it, Mrs. Phillips.
I'd like to think about that, Mr. Earp.
I'd like you to think about it. Good day, ma'am.
Good day.
Yeah. Howdy, Mr. Burns. How are the children?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah. You know, it's a nice, quiet day.
Quietest Saturday I've seen in a long while. Say, did your deputy catch up with you yet?
Hell, no one.
He came busting in here 3 or 4 times looking for you.
He did. Well, I'll just sit around here and wait for him. Then say, could I trouble you for a cup of coffee?
No trouble. Sit right down, Marshal.
Thank you.
Wyatt, you know that prisoner that escaped yesterday, Dundee? We got a telegram about him from Wichita. He broke into a store, stole a couple of guns, pistol whipped the livery stable man, and stole a horse.
Identify him as Dundee positively?
Well, the livery stable man's about 80% sure. He may be here right now.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Burns.
Look, Wyatt, I found Hogan. I put him back on duty. I think we ought to put on at least 2 or 3 extra deputies.
Well, just take it easy. You do that, and rumors are going to start flying all over town. This is good coffee.
Please let me put on a couple of extra men, just in case.
All right, if it'll make you feel better.
Oh, it will.
Just keep it very quiet, huh?
I wish you had the good sense to get a little frightened once in a while.
Good evening, Marshal.
Mrs. Phillips, what are you doing out on the street at this hour?
Oh, just getting a breath of air. Is something wrong, Marshal?
Well, do you know what time it is?
Oh, somewhere around midnight. I couldn't sleep. I didn't think I'd disturb anyone. I'm sorry.
Well, I'll walk you home. Where are you staying, over at the Dodge House?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
I said I was sorry. You're still angry with me, aren't you?
Well, I'm trying to be, but it isn't easy.
Haha, good.
I'm sure you haven't got any enemies, but well, this is still the West, and unfortunately, there are still some bad people.
Are you looking for one now?
Well, you never can tell. Now, why don't you go upstairs and try and get some sleep, huh?
All right. Oh, I thought it over, what you said.
I beg your pardon?
About it not being a good thing, my being alone.
Tonight proves that.
Well, I've decided to let you do something about it, like you asked.
Oh, that's wonderful. If it's all right with you, I'll call on you tomorrow evening.
Well, I was thinking about tomorrow afternoon, right after church. It would be a lovely day for a picnic, and...
Mrs. Phillips, I think...
My name is Barbara. May I call you Wyatt?
I'd be honored. Now, I think you ought to go inside.
What about the picnic?
Sounds fine.
I'll expect you tomorrow afternoon at 1. Good night, Wyatt.
Good night, ma'am. Barbara.
Barbara?
Oh,
We've all seen this picture. You sure you'll recognize it?
I'm sure.
Pick out a spot in the main road from Wichita. Hole up there where you can't be seen and... Well.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Marshal.
Did you two get any sleep?
I napped a little.
Oh, I'm not tired, Marshal.
Oh, good. Maybe you'll do a big favor for me, Mr. Hogan.
Oh, I'd be glad to.
I made an appointment with a mutual acquaintance to, accompany her on a picnic today, and I won't be able to make it, and I was wondering if you'd substitute for me.
Oh, well, Marshal, come to think of it, I guess I am kind of tired. I don't think I'd be very good company for Miss Phillips.
Sam?
No, don't look at me, Marshal. I'm married. So's Bob. Look, you go on duty at 4 o'clock. Nothing's going to happen while you're away.
Just to make sure of that, you stay on duty yourself and put on a couple extra deputies. Huh? No, I'll
get it. Hello, Mrs. Phillips, ma'am.
Hello, Mr. Hogan. Is the marshal inside?
Yes, ma'am. I'll get him.
Thank you.
Marshal.
All right.
It's 1 o'clock, Wyatt.
So it is, Barbara. I was just on my way over to see you.
Thought I'd save you the trouble. Lunch is all packed and it's a beautiful day.
Barbara, I'm very sorry, but I'm not going to be able to go with you today.
But you promised.
Well, I know I did, but something came up and I can't leave town. Maybe next week.
I was looking forward so much to this afternoon.
Oh, don't cry, please.
I beg your pardon, Wyatt, but I think we can take care of any emergencies that might come up while you're away.
Maybe you're right, Hal. Come on. We'll be over in the Grove if you need me.
Right.
See you later. This is wonderful, you know. I don't know when I've had a meal like that.
Well, I had some help from the hotel.
You know, that hotel never made a pie like this.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Wyatt.
Here, I'll give you a hand.
No, this is a woman's job. Now, I want to know all about Wyatt Earp. Not the Marshal of Dodge City. I can read about him in the papers.
Well, he's the only one I know.
No, he isn't. I want to know where you came from. What kind of a boy you were.
Well, you're kind of curious, aren't you?
I'm interested.
Well, I was born in Monmouth, Illinois. When I was 16, we all moved out to California and settled in San Bernardino. Came by wagon train.
Did you love your parents? Were you close to them?
I loved them very much. We had a good home life. Mom and Dad, my two sisters, Jim, Morgan, Virgil, Newton, those are my brothers. We had just about the right mixture of family discipline and young male independence, I'd say. How about you, Barbara?
Well, what young life I had was wonderful. I didn't have very much, though. Both my parents died before I was 15.
I'm sorry.
father was a horse trader. I had a pony of my own, and now they're both dead.
You've had a lot of shock for someone so young. Believe me, these things take time, but you get over them. You know something, you're too beautiful to be sad. I know you can smile because I've seen you. It's just about the prettiest sight I ever saw.
Do you really think I'm beautiful?
Very.
Then why don't you hold me?
Barbara.
Stand up. I'm going to kill you. But first I want you to know why. Stand perfectly still and keep your hand away from your gun.
I wouldn't use it on you anyway.
I'm not a widow. I've never been married. My name is not Phillips. It's Clements. Does that name mean anything to you? You killed my father.
I've known a lot of men by the name of Clements, but I've never killed any of them.
You sent them to prison. That's the same as killing if they're innocent.
I don't decide a man's innocence or guilt. That's up to a judge and jury.
My father's name is Martin Clements.
I remember him. I caught him in the act of robbing the Wichita bank.
You're lying. The Clements family had a bad name, so you saw your chance when my father went to Wichita. He was a cattleman. He was in the bank making a deposit, and you wounded him. You sent him to prison for 10 years, and it killed him. An innocent man. He died in less than 4 years.
Miss Clements, I'm going to have to tell you the truth about your father. He was a cattleman in a sense, but he was a rustler too, among other things. He and 4 others were robbing the bank when I saw him. I wounded him, yes, because he was shooting at me. I could have killed him, but I didn't.
You're lying to try to save your life, but it won't work.
I'm telling the truth to try and save my life and to try to keep you from being a murderess.
Nobody will suspect me. I'll say somebody shot you from hiding.
All right. Get it over with.
Turn around.
No. I want to see it when it happens.
Turn around, I said! I can't do it, I can't.
It's all right, miss. There's somebody here who can.
Mr. Dundee, isn't it?
That's right. Move out of the line of fire, miss. Go on!
Put down that gun, Mr. Dundee. You're not a killer.
You're wrong there. I wasn't before you sent me up, but I am now.
Can I talk to you for a minute?
Go ahead. I'd like to hear you begging.
I'm not begging, Mr. Dundee. I just want to tell you a little bit about shooting. Now, in a few seconds, if you don't drop that gun, I'm going to jump. You don't know which way I'm going to go, so you'll probably miss. At least your first shot isn't going to kill me. In the meantime, I'm going to be shooting at you, Mr. Dundee, and I'm not bluffing.
I won't miss. I've waited too many years to miss. For 3 years, 8 months, and 17 days, I've waited for this minute. You're going to have to kill me this time. I ain't never going back to that.
You all right, Miss Clements?
Dundee!
Is he dead?
No. I want to use your horse, Mr. Hogan. Dundee's horse is probably in the bushes someplace. I'd appreciate it if you'd drive Mrs. Phillips back to town. I'll pack the prisoner in.
Sure, Marshal. You and Miss Phillips, you're all right.
Yes, thank you. Here's your gun, Miss Phillips. I'm glad you didn't have to use it.
You mean she tried to... She helped you?
If she hadn't distracted Mr. Dundee, I'd probably be dead by now. Come in.
I'm going away. I wanted to tell you. I don't seem to be able to find the words.
Well, it's not necessary to say anything. I think I know what you feel.
I don't know what I feel about you. I don't know whether I hate you or my father. You were telling me the truth. But he was still my father. And I loved him very much.
I know.
Maybe we'll meet again someday, somewhere. And if we do, I hope we both will have forgotten all of this. I mean, I'm sorry.
Well, I've already forgotten it. Most of it. Some things I'd like to remember.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Wyatt.
Goodbye, Barbara.
The country, the old Wild West country, he made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Long may his story be told.
All right, throw down the bank money. It's inside. Climb down. Open the door.
Drop that gun, Hammer.
One move and your driver's a dead man. Ah, no money box, I see. A nice trick if you got away with it, Earp. Remember, this man dies if you don't stay put. All right, close the door. Get back up there.
Oh, Wyatt Earp,
may his story be told.
The life and legend of Wyatt Earp, starring Hugh O'Brien.
He was between 35 and 40. Brown eyes, black vest and light shirt. He was wearing 2 guns with white handles. Initials on the handles. It looked like 3 H's. And his horse, well, he was a sort of a buckskin.
Well, that's a very good description. Now, tell me what happened.
Well, we were riding along, and all of a sudden, from nowhere...
I'll get ready, friend. Don't worry.
Get on the ground, both of you.
Now listen, mister. All I've got in the world's in my pocket. You ain't gonna take that.
Shut up and stand still. You, come here.
Please, I'm not a well man.
Bullet won't make you any healthier. Come here. Well, well, your watch and chain. Got any other jewelry? Rings? Stick pin?
No, that's all I've got.
All right. Get back in. Both of you. You too, my friend.
You mean you ain't gonna...
Rob you? Why should I? Only take from those who can afford it. From the looks of him, he's got plenty more.
He's a banker.
My favorite kind of customer. Get in, my friend. Now, don't bother, working people. Get going.
Get ready.
Now, you say he didn't bother Mr. Parker or the driver,
No. Says he only robs the rich. Marshal, I'm willing to put up a reward for this man.
No, that won't be necessary, Mr. Sloan. We'll catch him if we can.
Well, I certainly hope you do.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, Henry Harrison Hammer, down Coffeyville way.
Yeah? The imitation Jesse James. Henry Harrison Hammer. There we are. 23 arrests for armed robbery, no convictions because of lack of evidence.
Because he robs the rich and spares the poor, just like Robin Hood.
Well, no, there's a difference. You know, Robin Hood used to steal from his rich enemies to give to his poor friends. This one robs just to help himself.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, it's my opinion that a thief will steal from anybody, rich or poor. Now, Mr. Hammer's reputation has been built carefully and with a purpose. Under the right circumstances, he'd rob a poor man, too.
Bottle your best. Check these for me, will you, please?
Wait a minute. That's his horse. I'm sure it is. There he is. That's the man who robbed me.
I'll take you into custody, sir.
On what charge?
Suspicion of armed robbery.
That's ridiculous. Do I look like a robber?
Well, you do to Mr. Sloan. Let's go. Empty your pockets. Al. Your name?
Henry Harrison Hammer.
Occupation?
Businessman.
$677.
And 80 cents. You don't happen to have a watch?
No, I don't have a watch. Time means very little to me.
It's pretty obvious he sold it someplace for about $50. That watch was worth over $200.
I've never seen this little man in my life, Marshal. What kind of a town is this, where a fat banker can accuse a complete stranger of robbery?
How'd you know he was a banker, Mr. Hammer?
Just a guess, Marshal.
Well, the court will convene at noon tomorrow. I'll make him comfortable in the meantime.
Yes, sir. This way.
He's the man. What nerve, making no attempt to disguise himself.
He does have nerve, and with good reason. He's had 23 arrests and no convictions.
Well, how can that be?
Lack of evidence. I'll see you in court tomorrow, sir.
Well, you certainly will. And then he said to the stagecoach driver, I don't bother working people.
Thank you, Mr. Sloan. Will the prisoner please stand? Is that the man?
It is.
Your Honor, this man is known to every law officer from Coffeyville North. He's a dangerous criminal, but he's never been convicted of a crime. But today, I think we have the witnesses that will convict him. I'd like to call Mr. Sam Landale to the stand. Thank you, Mr. Sloan. Yes.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Sit down.
Now, Mr. Landale, were you the driver of the regular stagecoach run the afternoon of August 25th?
Yep.
With Mr. Sloan and Mr. Limestone Parker as passengers?
Yep.
Would you recognize the man who held up the stage?
I don't know about that.
Will the prisoner rise? Is that the man?
I can't rightly say.
Now, Mr. Landale, Mr. Sloan testified that the robber spoke to you.
Might be he did.
What'd he say?
Well, I can't rightly remember. I was busy holding the horses.
All right. Your Honor, will you please instruct the prisoner to say the words, I don't bother working people?
Mr. Hammer, you will repeat those words.
I don't bother working people.
Now, does that sound like the voice of the man that robbed your stage?
I just can't rightly say.
You're obstructing justice, Mr. Landale, and I'm warning you that...
Marshal Earp. You know better than that.
Thank you, Mr. Landale. Will Mr. Limestone Parker please take the stand?
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I always do, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Now, will you please tell the court exactly what happened?
Well, sir, when this robber stopped the stagecoach and he ordered Mr. Sloan, the banker, and me to get out, then quicker than a flash, he found Mr. Sloan's fat wallet and his fancy gold watch, and he took them.
Did he take anything from you?
No. All I had was a little change for beans and bacon.
And would you recognize this robber if you saw him again?
I sure would.
Will the prisoner please rise? Is that the man?
No, sir. The robber was short and fat.
Limestone Parker, you're a liar. You know very well this man stole my money.
Order! Marshal Earp, in view of the conflicting testimony, there's nothing I can do but free the accused. Case dismissed for lack of evidence.
Your Honor, because this man supposedly robs only the rich, the people he leaves alone refuse to testify against him. Now, in my opinion...
Case dismissed!
Thanks kindly, Marshal.
Sign this receipt. The horse is outside, all saddled.
It's also kind of you, Marshal. But I don't think I'll be needing him for a while.
Yes, you will. You're leaving town.
Eventually, Marshal. Eventually. It's a nice town you have. Wonderful law enforcement. Man can feel safe here.
The minute Mr. Hammer steps out of line, I want to hear about it.
Right.
Call. Well, now, 3 queens. I'm afraid I have you beaten again, my friend. 3 aces. Drinks for all, bartender. Henry Hammer shares his good fortune.
You mean he's won every hand?
Oh, he might have lost a few. He's winning the big ones.
Without cheating?
Sure, he's not playing with kids, you know.
How much you figure he's won tonight?
$400 or $500. He just plays his cards right.
Plus the $630 or so he stole from Mr. Sloan. He's won about another 1,000 since he's been here. Well, so long as he's got money, he won't make a move, but it can't last forever.
Isn't it possible you're wrong about Hammer, Wyatt?
It's possible, but doubtful. You just keep watching.
Right.
Wilson?
Marshal Earth. Why, you were the first person I intended to look up.
Are you here on business?
Yes, sir. I am now representing a line of the finest kitchenware in the country. Could I interest you in some kitchenware, Marshal?
Well, I'm afraid not, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, then you're not married yet.
No, sir, not yet.
You should be. It's a wonderful life. Gives a man roots, you know. Quite different from the life I used to lead, remember?
I'll never forget. No, I'd say you were one of the most dishonest gamblers I ever met.
Do you know I haven't touched a deck of cards since Wichita?
No.
And I've never properly thanked you. I would have been killed, Marshal, if you hadn't intervened, and justifiably, too. I was cheating.
Well, I'm glad it turned out to be a good life for you, Mr. Wilson.
I hope I can repay you someday. Say, as a starter, how about having supper with me tonight?
Well, I'd be glad to, Mr. Wilson.
Fine. Where's a good place to eat?
Well, let's see. Well, how about the Alhambra? Say 8 o'clock?
Good. See you then.
Right, sir.
Good evening, gentlemen. Small drink before we start the game? Good evening, Marshal. How are you tonight?
Offhand, I'd say that man was no friend, Marshal.
You're right.
Who is he?
His name is Henry Harrison Hammer. Did you ever hear of him?
I have, but I've forgotten in what connection. Tell me about him.
Let's wait till later in my office. Let's eat our dinner in peace, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's been going on for a whole week. He's been winning steadily.
Well, I just don't understand people like that driver in Limestone. What could he accomplish by lying in court?
It tickles him to see Mr. Hammer get away with robbing a banker.
And you believe he's just as much a danger to the poor as the rich, huh?
I think he'd steal from anybody.
The only way that could be proved would be if Mr. Hammer were broke. If he lost every dime he had.
Yeah, I know. There's very little chance of that happening.
Marshal, I see a golden opportunity to repay my great debt to you.
Oh, no, Mr. Wilson. Now, I can't let you do that.
Can't stop a man from playing cards, Marshal.
But you just told me yourself you haven't gambled in years.
I proved to myself I don't have to gamble. I promise I'll never do it again after tonight.
Like I told you, he's lucky.
Please, Marshal, this is Dusty Wilson you're talking to. To quote you, one of the most dishonest gamblers I ever met. Don't worry, Marshal.
I bet $10.
I'll just see that. Cards? 2. I think I'll just play these.
Check.
Check, huh? That'll just cost you $50, Mr. Hammer.
50. Never saw such luck in my life.
Would you care to continue tomorrow, sir? Perhaps your luck will change.
No, give me the card.
Keep an eye on it.
Well, he cleaned out Mr. Hammer, Wyatt.
And so, Marshal, these old hands have never lost their charm.
Say, I was watching you pretty close. I never saw you cheat, did you?
Oh, please, no professional secrets.
There's almost $1,500 there. Mr. Wilson, you're a genius, and I want to thank you.
Oh, no trouble at all, Marshal. Good day.
Say, wait a minute. Mr. Hammer is what I think he is. You're going to be the first victim. We both live in the same hotel. I don't want to use you as bait, Mr. Wilson. You've already done enough for us, and, well, I think you'll find ourselves most comfortable.
All right, but not a word of this to my family, huh?
No, sir. Now, Hammer's only other source of quick money will be the bank or the stagecoach. I want you to place 3 deputies in the bank.
All right. Now, you said the stagecoach. There's not always someone with money riding there.
I know. Mr. Sloan will make a shipment of bank funds to Wichita on the afternoon stage. At least I want you to spread that rumor around. Now, you watch Hammer yourself. If he leaves town, you follow him.
Where are you going to be?
I'll be inside the stagecoach. Come on, I'll make you comfortable.
All right, throw down the bank money.
It's inside.
Climb down. Open the door.
Drop that gun, Hammer.
One move and your driver's a dead man. Ah, no money box, I see. A nice trick if you got away with it, Herb. Remember, this man dies if you don't stay put. All right, close the door. Get back up there.
What took you so long? He's got a fast horse. He got away from me. Keep on his trail. I'll be with you in a minute. Right, come on. Yeah. Come on, give me a hand with the lead horse. He's headed up toward Crow Hill.
That's a rough climb. Any other cabins up there besides Limestone Parkers?
Not that I know of.
Let's go.
Sure nobody can get up here without us hearing them?
Don't worry. You can hear anybody coming a quarter mile away.
Good. Got a nice, comfortable little place, Limestone.
Yeah, and you're welcome to hide out here just as long as you like, Henry. You know, it ain't every day that I have a celebrity visiting me.
Well, there's the cabin. The track's heading right for it. Don't see any other way to get there without making a racket. Let's move.
Listen. What I tell you? Here. Get in here, quick. I'll handle everything.
The marshal.
Oh, the marshal. Oh, well, come right on in.
Hal, you wait out there for me. You live up here all alone, Limestone?
Yes, sir. I'm always alone.
Anybody been by here in the last couple of hours?
No, sir, not a soul, Marshal.
Are you aware that helping a criminal to escape is a serious offense?
Oh, sure. I know that, Marshal.
Well, I'm sorry to have troubled you.
Oh, it's no trouble at all, Marshal. Just drop by any time.
Thank you.
He's gone. Don't shoot, it's me.
Thanks, old friend.
You know, I ain't had such a laugh since that day in court. You know, when that old banker yelled at me, I was fit to bust.
You don't like bankers much, do you?
No, I don't trust them neither.
I feel the same way. I figure if a man can't take care of his money, he don't deserve to have it.
That's right. Now, you take me, for instance. I'm a thrifty man. I don't have much, but I don't need much. My life saving is just $320. You think I'd put that in that old man Sloan's bank? No, sir.
Where is it, Limestone?
Why? You don't want my money, Henry.
Oh, yes, I do. Now get it. And no tricks.
Oh, Henry.
All right, now step back.
I must be dreaming. I thought you said you only stole from the rich.
Nobody ever told him differently. And nobody will. Especially you.
Oh, now, please, please, I won't tell.
You might.
Marshal, he was going to kill me.
I know that, Limestone. What do you think about testifying against him now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Hal. Patch him up. You know, you ought to keep that money in the bank.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I sure am glad you came back, Marshal. What made you do it?
You? You had the same twinkle in your eye when you lied on the witness stand.
Oh, I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it.
Mr. Sloan, I have your money right here.
But you said he was stone broke when you arrested him.
Well, let's say he was relieved of his money by a method that I can't discuss. I think you had $630. I think you'll find it there in that package. How much would you say your watch was worth?
But there's a lot left. Was that all from Hammer?
Every nickel.
And the school fund can use it quite nicely. Mr. Wilson has refused any fee for his services.
School fund, eh? Well, why don't you keep that for the fund, Marshal? And here. Add this to it.
Well, thank you very much.
And a bad fella.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail. Oh, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory. story be told.
The 1870s on the western frontier were noted for sentimentality. The fable of the woman outlaw flourished. People really believed that Pauline Cushman, Belle Starr, and Calamity Jane were female Robin Hoods, robbing the rich and giving to the poor. Dodge City, Kansas in 1877 had its own heroine. Her name was Lillian Reeve, and folks called her the Kansas Lily. But Marshal Earp could not afford to be sentimental even about woman outlaws. A good peace officer knew that a woman could shoot you just as dead as any drunken cowhand.
Hold on, Mr. Dealer. You've been cheating me. $300, please.
This is an honest game, lady.
Give her back her money. What's the matter here? What's the trouble, Deucey?
Lady says I cheated her.
Are you Marshal Earp? Well, I'm sorry I'm having to do this, Marshal, but the deal box here is crooked, and Mr. Ducey won't give me the $300 he's been cheating me out of.
That's right, I saw it. Sure. Fair.
All right.
Thanks. And thank you, Marshal Earp.
I'm not the marshal, ma'am. My name's Bat Masterson.
Oh, Mr. Masterson. Well, I've heard a lot about you, too. I hope you'll overlook my using a gun.
Well, I'll walk along with you, miss.
All right. I paid her.
Oh, police protection won't be needed. I'm just going along to the Dodge Hotel.
Well, I'll tell you, the Alamo's a crybaby place. They're apt to report on you.
To, Marshal Earp?
And you better let me have that Derringer, miss.
My name is Reeve. Lillian Reeve.
You're joshing me.
Well, no, that part of it is true enough.
Does Ducey know who you are?
Well, of course not. The scamp wouldn't have tried to cheat me.
Well, he sure wouldn't. I just can't get over it, you being in Dodge City.
Why, is there a law against it?
No. But Wyatt, Marshal Earp is awful strict these days. But look, if Ducey squawks about that gunplay, I can help you. I can talk to Wyatt.
Well, maybe I had better give you the gun. Then you can say you disarmed me or something. There. I'm trusting you.
Well, thanks, Miss Lily. I'll see you safe to the hotel.
Howdy, Marshal. I've been waiting for you.
Oh, howdy, Mr. Jameson. Something wrong?
Yeah, there's a new gal in town. She accused Ducey of cheating her, pulled a gun, and took $300 from the faro table.
Oh?
The deputy, Bat Masterson, saw the whole thing. He ordered Ducey to pay the gal.
Well, then he must have caught Ducey cheating her. I'll look into it.
Thanks. I want to sign a complaint. We don't want women gambling at the Alamo, and you told me to report any kind of gun carrying.
Yes. Come on, let's go inside.
She's registered at the Dodge Hotel, using the name Lillian Reeve.
Lillian Reeve. Say, isn't that the girl that rides with the Sundowner gang?
The Kansas Lily.
You didn't waste any time getting over here, did you?
Oh, take it easy, Bat.
Cheating Miss Lily, then crybaby into Wyatt. Here, she gave me this.
She a friend of yours?
Yes, I hope so.
Let's just forget that charge, Marshal.
Mr. Jameson, we don't forget charges in this office. Just sign this complaint. Armed robbery.
No matter what Bat says, you'll find I'm telling the truth.
She posing as the Kansas Lily?
She's not posing, she's real. She told me the whole deal. She quit the Sundowners and she's trying to make a new start. And she's a lady, Wyatt.
Why didn't you arrest her?
What for? Ducey took her in a crooked faro game.
Didn't you see her poking this gun at him?
Wyatt, Miss Lily was broke. She acted foolish like any girl might.
You never learn, do you? Now I gotta go arrest her.
Oh, sure. Put the poor girl in jail. And do it on the word of Cap Jameson and Ducey Miller.
Mr. Masterson? Here. You slosh that on your head, you're getting feverish.
up here till dark.
I don't know, Gus. You sure Miss Lily headed for Dodge?
Sure, I'm sure. She's probably selling us out to Wyatt Earp right now. And there's only one way I know of stopping any gal from talking too much. Now get some rest. We'll be busy tonight.
One moment.
Miss Lillian Reeve?
Are you Wyatt Earp?
That's right.
Come in. Well, you're a sight handsomer than Mr. Masterson described you.
Oh? How did he describe me?
Mighty fast with your guns. Mighty slow with the ladies.
Miss Reeve, I'm a deacon in my church.
Remind me to tell you about some deacons I've met. Oh, my bag's packed for jail. Shall I carry it?
No, we'll go down to the Alamo Saloon first.
Why don't you just take me to jail?
Mr. Jameson signed a armed robbery complaint. Ducey Miller will have to identify you first.
Well, you're the police in this town, Mr. Earp. You want to go first? I'd like to lock my door.
Now you're denying that Miss Lily took $300 from you?
She had it coming.
How's that?
Give her a bad break on the deal box.
You cheated her, huh?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jameson.
Yes, I
Look,
know.
you signed an armed robbery complaint.
I was a little hasty, Marshal. No one saw Miss Lily actually threaten him with a gun.
All right.
We didn't see anything.
Miss Lily, you make friends awful fast.
Just a minute, Mr. Earp. I'd like to talk to you.
Outside.
Miss Lily's respected in the South. You cause her any more trouble and we'll move our trade.
We didn't know that she was the Miss Lillian Reeve.
Miss Lily risked her life spying for General Sterling Price during the late war. Gentlemen, I'm buying a drink to Miss Lily. Set him up, bartender.
So why should I lie to you? I came here to make friends as fast as I can. I need friends.
Oh? Sundowners after you?
I'm afraid so. We all scattered after the bank job in Coffeyville went wrong. But I wasn't in on that. I warned them against it.
Go on.
Marshal, I need a stake. If you object to my gambling in saloons, is it all right if I start a game in my suite at the hotel?
There's no law against it, Miss Lily. And I'm sure Mr. Masterson will be your friend.
Howdy, Miss Lily.
All the witnesses changed their stories about Miss Lily. She's free to have dinner with you.
Say, that's great.
If Mr. Earp isn't afraid I'll be a bad influence.
Well, Mr. Masterson's been influenced before. Hope you have a good time.
Mr. Earp doesn't approve of me. Do you approve of me?
More than that, I want to help you. I felt that way when I first met you.
Well, let's not rush things.
Didn't you tell Wyatt the Sundowner hoodlums might be after you?
Yeah, he wasn't interested.
Well, I am.
That's the difference.
Just say not to rush. But things happen fast to a girl like you.
Well, we'll talk about it at dinner. And I'll stay here long enough to run a poker game and get enough money to travel west. But if Gus and the boys blame me for Coffeyville, I'd better light out of here real fast.
You don't have to do that, not with all the Southerners in town.
More gunfighting.
That's one of the good things about Southern boys, Miss Lily. They'll fight. So will I.
No, it's no good, honey. I'm tired of trading on what I did when I was 16 years old back in Missouri. The Yankees caught me. I wasn't a very good spy.
Well, how did you get away from the Federals?
Oh, I didn't. They took me to St. Louis and said they were going to hang me. But old General Halleck, bless him, turned me loose with a safe conduct to the Confederate lines.
Well, the Sundowners aren't going to be that generous.
No. No, I know it. I better run.
I'll go with you.
You're sweet. But I couldn't let you do that. Done.
Down in the bar. I'll have to go.
Serves him right.
Come on now, give me that gun.
I ain't gonna give this gun to nobody.
You're in trouble now. You better give me that gun.
Anybody else want to make a remark about Miss Lily? Speak up, you Kansas bluebellies.
Oklahoma, give me that gun.
Pat Masterson. Good old Texas boy.
Come on, you come over here and sit down now.
Come on. Make it like this.
I didn't see the fight.
This his gun?
Yeah.
What started it?
He started making remarks about Miss Lily Reeves, and Oklahoma called him.
Some of you men take him over to the coroner's office. Jackson, you watch him. I want to talk to you. Telegram. State warrant for Miss Reeve. Associate of outlaws. Detailed information and a letter to follow.
Give us a break.
What for?
I've got her halfway talked into leaving town with me. She's not really a bad person. I might even marry her someday.
Well, that's your business, Mr. Masterson. Now, where is she?
Upstairs.
You take Oklahoma over to jail.
Hey, Lily, what about Miss Lily?
We'll be upstairs talking when you come back.
114.
Don't be a fool, Gus. Blasting your way through Earp and his deputies in that night?
We'll blast nobody. We'll mosey in while the town's asleep and grab Lily. And what we gotta do, we'll do on the trail. That way we'll have no witnesses yapping their heads off. Now, you got any more arguments?
Well, no, I'm not arguing with you.
All right. Let's ride to Dodge.
Oh, why go on talking, Mr. Ert? You've got the warrant. Put me in jail.
It's not that simple. You know a warrant won't hold you long?
Really asking me not to make use of Mr. Masterson, isn't that it?
That's part of it. He's a fool for women. Not just one woman, but all women. He can't help that, and he can't help you.
What's your great interest in this, Mr. Earp? Are you your, brother's keeper?
Mr. Masterson is a good friend of mine. Now, look, you're always going to have men wanting to help you. You're pretty. You're colorful.
Do you think so?
Yes, I think so. I don't really think your sundowner friends are going to do you any harm.
They're scared.
And you're clever. I'm sure you've won a few hearts in that gang.
I hated those men. I've always hated them. Why do you think I turned into the spy for a South? Patriotism? I wanted to show men I could be just as brave, just as tough, and just as mean as they are. The sundowners, stupid, filthy hoodlums. I joined him to persuade my brother to quit. He was in too deep to quit.
Where's your brother now?
A Pinkerton man killed him after a Santa Fe holdup.
I'm sorry.
I don't want your sympathy. Just take me to jail.
Drinking isn't going to help.
I want to drink. And then you can haul me off to jail, yelling and screaming. Kansas Lily.
You're not helping yourself.
Well, then maybe you could help me. Maybe Mr. Masterson is not my type. How about your helping me out of trouble?
Well, you're mighty tempting, Miss Lily. But I'm going to have to decline with thanks.
Excuse me.
Come on in, Mr. Masterson. Join the conference. It's partly about you.
I'm afraid you're wasting your time, Miss Lily. Why, it's a John Law through and through.
Yes, I'm finding that out.
Miss Lily is afraid. She thinks her sundowner friends might come into Dodge City and do her bodily harm. We can't hold her in jail. We haven't got accommodations for women. But we can give her protection right here.
You give her protection. She'd like it.
Look, Mr. Masterson, Miss Lily isn't romantic about either of us. She's afraid for her life. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You go get Hal. You post him out back. I'll watch the front of the hotel. Then you come back. You'll stay here with Miss Lily. Now, go on.
Yes, sir.
Hiya, Mr. Driscoll. Just getting town?
Yeah.
How long you going to be with us?
Oh, I'm not checking in, Sam. Just passing through. My cousin, Miss Lillian Reeves, she staying here in the house?
Yes.
She's in 114. Shall I send word up to have her come
Hi,
back?
Mr. Masterson.
Oh, hi, Pat.
Is Mr. Earp upstairs?
I don't think so. He's not in his room. Might try the office.
Thanks. Can I buy you a drink?
No, thanks.
Masterson just came downstairs. Wouldn't say where Earp is.
Think Earp knows and has arrested her already?
No, I don't think so. The pickup order for her won't get here till Lamar's stage pulls in.
Poor Miss Lily. What kind of new trouble is she in now?
That same old tie-up with those sundowners.
It ain't fair to hound her like that all the time. She's been a victim of circumstances ever since that spy thing.
I know. That's why I'm here. You sneak upstairs, Tex. See what you can find out. She's in room 114.
Right.
You want to rent an extra horse. Feed and water these and take the money out of this. Now, don't unsaddle them because we'll be back in about an hour. Got it? I don't want any slips. Tim, you take the jail, and Nate and I'll mosey around the hotels. Right? Let's go.
What'd you find out?
Earp is holding her in custody.
Yeah, just as I thought. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Earp knows me, and I don't think he'll figure in any rough stuff. Now, you two keep out of sight, and I'll get up there and...
Tell me something about the Sundowner gang.
Oh, I don't want to talk about them. They've gotten me into enough trouble.
Who escaped from the Coffeyville job?
Gus Loring. He might have Tim Patton and Jerry Drew with him.
Just 3 men?
Well, perhaps 2 more. They were down to 7 regulars when the bank job fizzled.
Well, why would Gus Loring be angry enough with you to...
To want to kill me? Well, first, he asked me to marry him. I wasn't very polite about saying no. And second, I think he's afraid I'll be picked up, and I'll inform on him to save myself.
Would you?
Yes, I would.
Who is it?
Patty Driscoll, Wyatt.
Excuse me.
Excuse me for bothering you, Wyatt, but I got paid this $100 bill in a gambling game, and I think it's counterfeit. Would you mind? Good going, Lily. Get ready to travel. Come on, boys.
Tie him up. Where'd you come from, Pat?
There's an arrest order for you in the mail. Earp will get it tomorrow.
Earp got a telegram. I'm already arrested. Be with you as soon as I change my clothes.
That horse isn't back in the hotel. Hurry.
And you'd better tell the truth, or we'll shoot you right here. Right now.
3 Texas men. They just went upstairs. And that's all I know.
Which room's she in?
114 and 115.
Let's just wait here. They'll be down. This is easier. We'll trap ourselves on the 2nd floor.
Hurry up, Lily. Hurry up.
There's a fire escape ladder at the end of the hall.
And the stairs will be quicker.
We'll take the stairs.
Give me a key to that bar door. Move! Left him.
Stand right where you are.
Get on out of here.
Hurry up. I'll cover him.
Get on.
All right. Hey! Put your gun in the desk. Hurry up. Come on. All right, get back there. You too, mister.
There's a couple of men wounded in the chair over there.
Take care of these women. All right.
Where's Marshal Earp?
He didn't even come downstairs.
Somebody
It's
call Doc McCarthy.
114.
Who's he?
Oh, man,
Call
will
Doc
somebody
McCarthy.
get Doc McCarthy.
What?
What was the shooting? A couple of men grabbed Miss Lily and rode out of town with her. Driscoll and that Texan are down in the lobby wounded.
We got one of them.
Hal, go get some horses. Right. Go ahead.
Tex is bad hurt.
The other two got away.
Marshal, here's the other one over here. Which way they headed? Which way they headed?
They're gonna wait for me near the old stage stop.
You put him in jail. Rest of you get those wounded men over to the dock. You get the boys. Follow me out the river road.
Hold it. This is as good a place as any.
I never was in favor of your dying, Miss Lily.
It's Marshal Earp. Get going, Tim.
What about Nate?
Never mind Nate. Run for it. I'll cover you.
Hold your fire!
You put down that gun. You're still under arrest.
Miss Reeve, you are charged with being an associate of outlaws, with attacking an officer, and with attempting to escape legal custody. How do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Haven't you anything to say in defense of your behavior?
No, sir.
The court, please.
Yes, Marshal Earp.
It's true that Miss Lily whacked me over the head, but she was hysterical from fear. It's also true she tried to escape with Mr. Driscoll and his men, but... Well, sir, technically speaking, she was abducted by the Sundowner gang.
Good points, all.
I'm bound to say further that she's learned her lesson about hoodlums. And, sir, I recommend that she be sentenced to 1 year in jail, but that she be paroled from the bench.
Is there anyone here willing to accept parole responsibility for this young lady?
Judge Tobin, sir?
Yes, Mr. Driscoll?
Our son was wounded trying to help Miss Lily. She's a cousin of the Driscolls, and we'd be mighty proud to accept her parole, sir.
Is that acceptable to you, Marshal Earp?
It's a fine gesture, sir.
The prisoner is paroled to Mr. and Mrs. Driscoll. The three of you will appear here in this court tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock for parole instructions.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next case will be J.A. Donnelly versus the state of Kansas.
I can't figure out what I saw in her.
You saw the Kansas Lily. A lot of men will see her in their dreams. Now, Mr. Masterson, someday when you're an old codger, you'll read a wild newspaper yarn about Miss Lily, and you'll believe every word of it.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail. Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
You sure that's Wyatt Earp down there riding shotgun?
Wells Fargo advertised he's going to take that stage through to Hays, Kansas. There's the ad. Read it yourself.
The point is, what are we going to do about Earp?
Gonna kill him and rob the stage.
You mean take all the boys and ride down there and blast him, huh?
No, this time we're gonna use an old engine trick. Earp won't die right away, but in the end he'll be just as dead.
Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
Wyatt's old friend and former employer, Wells Fargo and Company, operated an important stage line connecting the Santa Fe at Dodge City with the Union Pacific at Hays, Kansas. 100 miles of wilderness stretched between the two railroads. It was a natural hunting ground for the stage robbers, and in 1878, the Purvis gang moved south to prey upon the shipments of money and bullion entrusted to Wells Fargo. Packing guns, drunk and disorderly in the street, fist fight. Anything else?
Yeah, this one resisted arrest.
That's probably 5 more days for you. Well, howdy, Mr. Tom Russell.
Howdy, Wyatt.
Mr. Masterson, put him in the cell. Come on back for the powwow.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Now, you look pretty good shape.
Feel pretty good.
Wells Fargo never thinks of me anymore unless they're in some kind of trouble. Now, what brings a chief special agent all the way from San Francisco?
The whole Purvis gang is camped at your back door.
Sit down. Now, they're operating in Hodgman and Pawnee counties, aren't they?
Yeah, I know it isn't your territory, so the company forgives you.
Well, that's nice. Hey, that's a mighty handsome ring you got there. New, isn't it?
Old-timer's ring. The company just started awarding them.
Old-timer's ring, huh? Well, I like the design.
You stamp it in red wax on a letter, and the big chief himself reads it. And all the power and glory of Wells Fargo is at my command.
Well, I'm an old-timer. They ought to give me one.
Maybe they will.
What's the catch?
Find me a map of Kansas, Wyatt. I'll show you.
All right.
And you know, we're supposed to be like the Texas Rangers. Touch a Wells Fargo stage, and if it takes 10 years, we'll get you.
Well, you always do, Mr. Tom.
Well, that sure makes for a lot of long chases, though.
Ah, that's just the point, Mr. Masterson. The Purvis outfit are real rough boys. They don't scare easy.
Hard men, huh?
Wyatt and I were joshing before you came in. He wants an old-timer's ring like this one.
Very nice.
I told him there'd be a catch.
Yeah, what is it?
Ride shotgun on one of our stages, north to Hays. And let us advertise in the local paper that you're going to do it.
Oh, wait a minute. Wyatt'd be asking for trouble, Mr. Russell.
Yes, he would.
I can think of a lot more sensible ways of you getting killed.
Mr. Russell's got the makings of a good idea. I'm your man on one condition. You and Mr. Masterson follow behind me with a posse.
How close?
10 miles.
Well, what good would that do? You'd be dead and the money gone.
Mr. Masterson, I'm asking Wells Fargo to do me a big favor.
A posse? I don't quite understand why.
I want the Purvis gang caught. If they do jump the stage, you'll be close enough behind to pick up a fresh trail, not 10 years from now either.
All right, Wyatt. I'll wire the main office and see if I can get permission. And don't let Mr. Masterson talk you out of it. I'll be at the hotel, Wyatt.
Right, see you later.
You and Wells Fargo. What, have they got a mortgage on you or something?
No, I owe them, Mr. Masterson. They gave me a job when I was nothing but a kid. They trusted me with passengers, teams, and money. Why do you think you owe me?
Well, that's different.
Oh. I took you on when you were just 20 years old as a deputy.
Well, yeah, but that's personal. You Wells Fargo's a big company.
No, sir. It's a fine name, and they got a great reputation. No, they fought for law and order in trails that you never rode and in towns that you never heard of.
All right. Well, look, will you make the distance to the posse 5 miles?
No. Purvis and his gang would see the dust at 5 miles. You'd scare them off.
10 miles. And I promise to give you a decent Christian burial.
Well, that's very nice of you, Mr. Masterson.
20. Wells Fargo and their $20 bills. I'm gonna write their president and tell him to send their payroll shipments in hundreds.
Hey, Danny.
Oh, shut up. You made me lose my place.
This file, Danny.
Thanks.
This is something you ought to see.
And a newspaper? I never read them.
You better read this one. They hired Wyatt Earp to ride shotgun.
Wyatt Earp? Our regular stage bound for Hayes and Northern Points will leave Dodge City at 9 a.m. as usual tomorrow. Marshal Wyatt Earp will ride shotgun. The stage will carry men passengers only, and they will ride at their own risk. Wells Fargo and Company.
You know, Danny, if Wyatt Earp is riding shotgun, there must be an awful lot of money on that stage.
Pinkham, you got a brain. Of course there's a lot of money on it. 20, 20, 20.
Now, Mr. Masterson, I want you to give us exactly a 1 hour head start. You'll be traveling faster than us, so I want you to make check stops here, Jones Hill here, right at the beginning of the Narrows, making time allowances. Now, we all know the schedule of the stage. I have a firm agreement with the Wells Fargo Company to keep that posse 10 miles back at all times. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
I'm still against taking passengers, Wyatt. I think we should pile freight in the coach.
Well, that'd be a dead giveaway. Now, that gang has never hurt any passengers yet. Now, the agent over at the stage depot has been told to repeat the warning that people are going to be traveling at their own risk. Besides, we may not have any passengers, in which case I suggest we load with freight.
I'll settle for that.
You know, actually, I don't think Purvis is going to jump us. Not because I'm riding shotgun, but because I think he'll smell a trap.
He's not that smart.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I agreed to this deal. Just how smart is Danny Purvis? I've always been a fool for questions like that. Right, Hal?
Yeah. No, you're a fool for Wells Fargo.
Well, I'll tell him the truth, Mr. Tom.
The truth?
Well, sure. I've always wanted an old-timer's ring like yours. Say, who's going to be driving number 8?
Pat Duncan.
Well, he's a good man, but I'd rather have Milt Caney.
Milt's loco.
Well, Mr. Masterson, in order to be a great stage driver, you gotta be a mite local. Now, you, put Milt Caney on the box. I rode with him once through an Apache ambush on the Phoenix Trail. He was popping Indians off the lead horses with a black snake whip. It was like swatting flies.
All right, Wyatt. Milt Caney.
I just got one final question, Mr. Tom.
What's that?
Does your company pay for Wyatt's funeral?
All expenses, Bat.
Let's break this up. Tomorrow may be a busy day.
Before you buy your tickets, read that.
Well, what does it say?
Our regular stage bound for Hayes and Northern Points will leave Dodge City at 9 a.m. as usual tomorrow. Marshal Wyatt Earp will ride shotgun. The stage will carry men passengers only, and they will ride at their own risk.
There must be robbers in the trail, or they wouldn't be warning us.
So what if there are? There's gold in the Black Hills.
We could wait one day, Sammy.
Gold claims don't wait. I'm going.
Okay.
What? I think it's much ado about nothing.
Well, could be, Milt.
I've got to write them bosses in San Francisco another letter. They ain't answered my last one yet. And they ain't sent me my old-timer's ring, neither.
Well, give them time. They've been kind of busy.
What? You was always a clean-living boy. How do you stand with him now?
Him? You mean the good Lord? Well, I guess I can only claim a fair to middling rank.
I'll put in a good word for you.
Well, thank you. That's mighty kind of you.
Oh, take nothing. You imps of Satan. Do you see this? I want you to keep a tight trace on this trip, and I don't want no biting or snorting or staggering, you hear me? What? You check the passengers. I've got to cuss these horses in a quiet way. Now, Joe, I want to tell you something.
Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry. But there are no women allowed on this trip.
Who's putting me off? My name is Wilkins, young man, and I'm a great-grandmother. My first great-grandson was born up to Hayes last week, and I aim to see him. And I aim to go on this coach.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Wilkins, but you see, the company thinks there's going to be some trouble.
Trouble? I've had trouble all my life.
I'm sure you could postpone your trip one day. You see, there's liable to be some shooting.
Young man, when you get to be my age, you don't postpone things. Now, you just climb up there in the boot, young fella, and if the bandits give you any trouble, I'll give you a hand.
Yes, sir.
3 passengers, Marshal Earp.
4.
Huh?
Grandma Wilkins is going along.
Oh, no. The company gave me strict orders.
All right, you pull her off.
You just try it, and there'll be a fight.
Will you explain it to Wells Fargo, Mr. Earp?
Yeah.
All right, there's the money box. You sign here.
I'm Sam Price, Marshal. This is my partner, Ned Hilling.
Clayton. Lee Clayton.
Mr. Price, Mr. Hilling, Mr. Clayton. Climb aboard, gentlemen.
Wyatt's wrong, you know. They're gonna jump him just as soon as he gets across that county line.
Wyatt said 10 miles. I gave him my word.
Hal.
Yeah?
Look, I think we ought to follow Wyatt closer. How do you boys feel?
Same as you do, but Wyatt's running the show. He said to wait an hour. I always try to be reasonable.
All right, then we go.
In 45 minutes.
Look, Mr. Russell.
Matt, hold it. Mr. Russell's straining a point already.
Yeah.
Well, do we take it from here, Danny? Nope. We'll wait and see if a posse's following him. Then we'll ride along either side of him at rifle range. You understand? You mean pick off Earp and the driver? If we can shoot that good. If we can't, we'll have to move in a little closer and drop some of the horses. And then close in. Go divide the boys so we'll have some guns on the west side, too. Wait a minute. I don't want any of that fancy Jesse James stuff until I give the word. Yes, sir. Bill, Ed, Charlie, you go over the other way.
Why can't we have some air in here?
The sun's on that side. It'll burn you up.
Second, we don't want to be setting ducks.
What?
We don't want to make ourselves targets for road agents.
City fellers. Road agents. They wouldn't jump us here. We're too close to Dodge City.
Grandma's right.
Do they usually shoot at the passengers?
Not unless some tarnation idiot shoots at them.
Won't we be expected to help Mr. Earp?
Well, that's what he's hired for.
Correct, Sonny, correct. But you let Mr. Clayton here help Marshal Earp. If it comes to that.
Not me, Grandma.
Oh, you're a gunfighting man, sure. I took a good look at your gun and holster. That holster's Texas hide, cured stiff for a quick draw, and all the bluin's worn off the front side of your coat. You got the eyes of a gunfighting man.
Relax, friends. I don't help no John Law.
Drat it. There, I dropped a stitch. Now, that's bad luck.
Is that Earp riding shotgun?
Too far to tell. As they come abreast of us, we'll start playing Indian with them.
Milt, riders.
Do you suppose they want us?
Yeah. Pull them up. I gotta get those passengers out.
Whoa!
Ho, ho!
What are we stopping here for?
What's wrong?
Sorry, folks, but this is as far as we go.
What's happened?
Outlaws, Mr. Kenny and I are going to try to make a run for it. The rest of you out. Come on, Grandma.
I will not. I'm comfortable.
Well, I want out. Come on, Sammy.
No, I've got a gun, Marshal. I'll help.
Come on, get out of there.
Well, shall we dust him?
Not yet. I'll tell you when.
There's a posse following us. You just wait here.
Come on, Mr. Clayton. Come on, Grandma.
Come on.
No.
Should I lift her up?
Yeah, but take it easy. Come on.
You just try it, you old coot, and I'll pick your eyes out with my knitting needles.
Come on, Grandma.
Now.
Get aboard them bullets.
I'll stay with Grandma.
All right.
Here, now save your cartridges. It's still a rifle fight.
I got a hunch they jumped Wyatt.
10 miles behind, Wyatt said.
Well, that doesn't go anymore. You come with me, or you mosey along with Russell?
Well, if you want to go fast, I'll race you there. Hiya!
You all right?
We can't outrun them, Wyatt. Let's stop and make a fight of it.
Head for those boulders up there.
Okay.
Stay down there. You want to get yourself killed?
Well, if I stay down there, I will get myself. Look at that. Good. I knew it. I knew you could do it. Come on.
I'm hit, Wyatt. Shoulder.
Give me the ring.
Hey!
You all right? Reload as fast as you can. Ed, you and Charlie and Fred keep after them. The rest of us will cut across through the narrows over here. They can't travel as fast over there.
No, they certainly can't.
We'll pick them off. Now go ahead and keep Wyatt apart so they won't know we split up.
Mr. Clayton! Mr. Clayton!
Mr. Clayton's been hit.
How bad?
Well, you don't hear him shooting, do you? I picked up his revolver. I'm reloading. What happened? They give up?
No, Grandma, I don't think so. It's some kind of a trick. Probably reloading back there somewhere. Here they come. Now you keep down so you don't get yourself shot. Hey, let's go. Come on.
Come on, Mr. Katie.
I'm afraid it can't be much help, Wyatt.
I know, but come on down. Just try to keep the blood stopped.
Come on.
Get him over there on the rock.
Right. I'll take care of you now. Oh, just get out of my way now, boy. Say, what are you doing that for, sonny?
Trying to prevent a wreck and a runaway. Purvis knows we're heading into winding roads. He's cut his men in half. Sent half of them cross country so they could pop up in front of us. Hey, get going. Oh.
The minute that firing started again, those horses had run off and gotten themselves into a wreck. Busted up that stage.
Well, that's real good thinking, son. No sense in busting up a good stage and killing animals.
Come on, Milt. Hey, Grandma, pick up that Winchester. Let's go up the hill. Let's go.
Watch yourself. Just take it easy.
Damn,
Get down in there, Milt. Stay there. Grandma, get up in the rock on the left. Come on. In the left. Now stay behind that rock. Start reloading that Winchester. Milt, you keep under cover.
I sure like a young feller that's got a brain, and you got one.
Hush up, Grandma. Here they come.
Grandma, save your shots. You just keep reloading, I'll do the firing.
Posse better show up before we run out of bullets.
One, Sonny. How many are there?
I can't tell. Ted, reload that Budlon special. Give me that Winchester. Well, this might have been a good trick for Indians, but we ain't Indians. I think we ought to hide the horses and try to take Earth on foot. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Say, hope I didn't spoil nothing, Sonny. This darn thing almost jammed on me.
Thank you, Grandma. Hey, you're a pretty rugged gal.
Yeah, always was. But you should have known my grandma. Whoa, Grandma was a case. Drat him.
Well, Grandma.
Say, here comes some men. Are they ours?
Well, they better be. Posse coming. All right, Kermit.
Determined cuss, ain't he? Some people just won't stop at nothing.
You stay put. Drop your belts. Come on, Milt. All right, Ryan.
I told you 10 miles was too far.
Stop yakking and go pick up the water. All right, Wyatt. Hey, you tough old buzzard. You're going to be good as new in a couple of weeks.
You folks sure did a good job. I can't make a Wells Fargo speech for you. Well, here. Mail it back when you get yours.
Well, thank you, Mr. Tom. Milt, hold out your good hand.
No joking.
Sure, you earned it. Now, when Wells Fargo sends you your own, well, you just mail that one back to Mr. Tom.
My old timer's ring. But I didn't pay for Wells Fargo. I only cussed their horses.
Say, Sonny, come on, let's get moving. That little baby'll be walking before his grandmother ever gets up to Hayes.
Grandmother, he may be walking by the time we find those horses.
Hey, Hal, give me a hand, will you?
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail. Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Long may his story be told.
ভালোবাসা সুন্দর, ভালোবাসাও সুন্দর। মানুষ নিজের অজান্তেই ভালোবেসে ফেলে।
আমার মনে হয় কি জানেন, আপনার মতো জানাশোনা কাউকে না আমার বিয়ে করা উচিত।
এটা কি উপলক্ষে?
ম্যাডাম, ফুলটা গ্রহণ করুন, তারপরে বলতেছি।
ভোটার আইডি কার্ডে যার স্বাক্ষরের জায়গায় টিপসই দেয়, এখানে কেউ ডাক্তার।
এই দুইজনের মধ্যে যে আগে ম্যাডামের মন জয় করতে পারবে, ম্যাডাম তার।
একদিন না দেখলে তোমায় বন্ধু আন্ধার লাগে সব, তোমার এই প্রেমে এমনই টান।
রুগীদের তো ডক্টরের কাছে আসলে ব্যথা কমে যায়, আপনি একটু উল্টা হলো কেন? আপনি কি একটু উল্টা?
তোমায় ছাড়িয়া যাব মরিয়া, তোমায় ছাড়িয়া যাব মরিয়া, যেও না বন্ধু আমার, ভুলিয়া ভুলিয়া।
আমার মনে হয় আমার সমস্যা কপালে। ম্যাডাম, আমার কপালে নেই, আমার কপালে আছে দাগ।
Và VS biết New York. Được mà nó cũng chuẩn chỉ chứ. Cái khổng lồ ấy. Chỉ lấy một cái đéo là nhét lên cái khổng lồ vậy thì sao? Vinh trên lên không nhặt trước lần nữa. Hello guys. Tao chắc sẽ chinh choang kìa. Mấy thằng Trung Quốc cũng ra này. Mày có thằng điên xin là Pripyat. Mày có thích Pripyat không? Có thằng con lợn này 34 tỷ nhỉ. Bay đến 80 triệu. Không mời đồng yes quay. Rồi viên nhà. Nếu giờ đánh viên nhà vào. Không, chết một con chỉ đấy. Như phải đét thì mấy con này ở dưới mình sẽ quay một cười nó chịu mà tắc kè này nhìn như con nhái bên chia lên không nó vậy nghe ngồi nghe ai đánh bộ khởi đầu đúng không vậy? Đọc một tướng à? Không, ai đánh bộ khởi đầu cũng thầy à? Thôi thầy xin phép vậy. Còn tiền 3 sao tiếp 3 thì check bài á, không có thằng đánh á. Này có oan thì sao? Không phải. Đánh thần rừng à? À đâu? Hiệu này đánh là sút cho. Quên chi lên bay rồi 35 của 35 của 35.000 hai lát này kia chắc bay như ác quỷ 800 năng lượng vì bớt 16 mà triệu quay kia qua này. 16 triệu rồi à? Thôi từ từ, thế tiếp về kia một lát một để bớt này. Quay 230 của phù thủy à.
তোমাকে 15 লাখ টাকাই দিতে হবে। তুমি যদি দিতে না পারো তোমার বাবাকে কল দাও। তোমার যত জমি জিরাত বাড়িতে যা যা আছে এগুলো বেচা হইলেও তোমরা আমাদের টাকা পাই পাই করে শোধ করবা।
একটা ব্যাপার কি খেয়াল করছো? শহরে কিন্তু দুইটা রূপ, রাতের এক রূপ, দিনের আর এক রূপ।
বেঁধেছি ঘর হৃদয়ের পর গাঢ় সবুজ ওই গহীন বনে।
আরে ব্রো, সবসময় চিল থাকতে হবে, কিচ্ছু মাথায় নেওয়া যাবে না।
ভালোবাসা হচ্ছে একজন আরেকজনের উপর ভরসা করে একজন আরেকজনের হাতের উপর হাত রেখে এই জীবনটা কাটিয়ে দেয়। কিছু মানুষ এই রাত জেগে থাকে আর টাকার বিনিময়ে সুখ খোঁজে। বসুন।
এখন তো সিরিয়াস হওয়া উচিত, তাই না? আমি তো কোথাও যাচ্ছি না পার্টি করতে। তুমি কেন যাচ্ছ? কেন বন্ধ করতে পারতেছো না বলো তো? কার যে কোথায় সুখ সেটা তার প্রিয় মানুষটাও কখনো জানতে পারে না।
পাশাপাশি তবু যাচ্ছি বিপরীতে, কাছাকাছি তবু যাচ্ছি বহু দূরে।
হাই, ইউ লুক গুড।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
Mày Mày viết kiểu gì hả? Tôi viết kiểu sự bình chilling ấy. Kia na cầm kiếm này. À cái đai máu này. Kia na cầm kiếm này. Rồi. Mày hỏi đâu thằng lấy rồi. Chuẩn không? Chuẩn không? Chuẩn không? Chuẩn không? Tranh mày tranh để tranh với tao. Nhiều đi quá ta. 233 vòng. Mình có đầu bây giờ. Nhật báo á. Vậy cũng trừ đi 30% đó. 20% tiếp quỷ à? 100 không? 110 à? Kiểu tầm 5. Đúng không? Để cho được khoảng 70 bình. Ai mà lại ai mày vậy wow nè rồi hiện tại wow một tỷ lắm 50 rồi khoảng là bao nhiêu nhỉ? 2 thì rưỡi à? 5 thì bỏ 250. Đủ. Mày được không? Mày game 250 50 của ông thầy 29 này 12 3 4 5 6 17, 18, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 40 à? 22, 29, 30, không 40 à? 98 à? Ai, 98 ai? Phải vay một phân rồi. What the hell?
দরকার পড়লে একটা রিকশাওয়ালাকে বিয়ে করবো, তারপরে তোকে বিয়ে করতে
তুমি যদি মরো যে আমি তোমাকেই বিয়ে করব।
দেখো দেখো বিয়ে এত সোজা
আমার 5টা কন্ডিশন।
কয়টা?
5টা।
আমি সিআইডি সাফায়েত রমরাজন। স্যার এটা তো ভোটার আইডি কার্ড স্যার।
বাড়িতেই করবেন নাকি হোটেলে?
না না, আপনি যেমনটা ভাবছেন বিষয়টা তা না। হ্যাঁ আপনি তো করবেন।
তোমাকে দিয়ে হবে না, আমি জানতাম। শুধু শুধু সময় নষ্ট করো না।
ভাই আপনি তো অনন্ত দলিল না যে অসম্ভবকে সম্ভব করে আপনার কাজ। জিমি জিমি জিমি
কি হচ্ছে?
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
আঙ্গের একদম বইরা দিমু যাচ্ছে সব বাইর কর।
শর্ত দিয়ে বিয়ে শর্ত দিয়ে বিয়ে
ভাই যে বয়সে মানুষ গার্লফ্রেন্ডের কামড় খায় সে বয়সে আপনি কুত্তার কামড় খেয়ে হাসপাতালে ভর্তি হয়েছেন।
Được. Khổng lồ, mua khổng lồ cái gì đấy? Mở doan. Cảnh vệ. Thần dương, 2 thần dương vật trời nhau. 2 khổng lồ. À không. Cảnh vệ xử lý rồi xong. Nhà tranh bài của tớ làm ơn đấy. Đâu đấy? Ngày phải đấy nhở? Cứ chơi chứ. Mày muốn lap nhanh nhẹn. Bớt 4 rồi à, 1.2 à? Dương ơi, đây chuyển chỗ tội. Thú tượng với cả giáp máu ánh sáng thì cái nào ánh sáng ngon hơn? Đây mà. Bình gì? 200 láp đi, không đặt này. À 51 này. 200 láp được đấy. Được 200 láp. À đúng là nhớ rồi. Chạm tay rồi. 19. Nhớ là được 190 mà. 200 láp của thầy ơi. Bớt em đủ 80 củ bớt lần nữa ăn đét vậy rồi tao bớt lần nữa xong rồi tao mới cút về kia bớt 5 ấy xong rồi mình cút về kia được bình chia lên nhà đã chia ra bình rồi xong lên 9 nhà chia xong rồi lên 9 xong rồi lên 9 thì mình được xét và là bình full form rồi form này có nhắc là cái gì đâu what chứ sao không nhắc được hắc ám kìa nhắc được tử thần hắc ám chỉ có June thôi anh sẽ bay một chỗ ác quỷ nhá mèo 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 Wow, không 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 vậy thắng quay số rồi à đầu đầu ấy nhỉ 53 của thêm mấy lap nữa nhiều request lại 200
আপনি কিন্তু দেখতে যথেষ্ট সুন্দরী একজন মানুষ দেখতে বেশ রোমান্টিক যেন শেক্সপিয়ারের নাটকের কোনো নায়িকার মতো ভেবেছিলাম কিন্তু আপনি তো পুরোটাই মর্মান্তিক যে কোনো মানুষ আপনাকে দেখে মর্মাহত হতে পারে
এইখানে গাড়ি থামা
আমার হালকা হতে 1 মাস সময় লেগেছে
আপনার 1 মাস সময় লাগে আমার হালকা হতে তো 1 মিনিট লাগে
আমার কাছে মনে হয় জীবনসঙ্গী এমন হওয়া উচিত যার সাথে আপনি প্রতিটা মুহূর্ত উপভোগ করতে পারবেন সারাক্ষণ খুনসুটিতে মেতে থাকতে পারবেন এবং তার মনে এমনভাবে বসবাস করবেন যে আপনার দিকে সে একটাবার তাকালেই বলে দিতে পারবে যে তার বেঁচে থাকার কারণই আপনি
পথে চলতে চলতে কথা বলতে বলতে কখন যেন হলে আমার
জানি গল্পে গল্পে মিশে অল্পে অল্পে আমিও হয়ে গেছি তোমার
ছোট ছোট ভুল ফুটে হলো ফুল যে তোমাকে পেলাম
গুটি গুটি পায়ে স্বপ্নের নাই আমি ভেসে গেলাম
আপনি কি মনে করেছেন একজন মানুষ আমার জীবন থেকে চলে গিয়েছে এবং আপনি সেই সুযোগটা কাজে লাগিয়ে আপনার ফিলিংস গুলো আমার কাছে এক্সপ্রেস করবেন আর আমি সেটা হ্যাপিলি অ্যাকসেপ্ট করে নিব এই হচ্ছে আপনার বন্ধুত্বের নমুনা
রোদের পাখি তোর শহরে আমার মনের স্বপ্ন ঘিরে ওরে পাখি ওরে সারাক্ষণ তোর শহরে বৃষ্টি হলে ভিজে আমার মন
Nhật sao biết ra tầm bản thân nhớ tụi học hiểu thế chỉ có tính nó mới hàng đầu mới tính gặp cái nào được không? Gặp cái nào được? Hôm qua lần đầu tiên gặp yêu dấu ấy. Hôm qua lần đầu tiên gặp yêu dấu. Hôm mà có sang nhà. Chắc chắn không vậy? Chắc chắn không? Xe chơi một ai à? Xe kìa đang nhắn đi. căng vậy, nhìn tin căng vậy thầy. Tao gặp thằng này liên tục vậy. Phải chấm. Nó khỏe gặp nó liên tục à, cho tao. Đó thì là năm rưỡi về. Thằng này đánh cái đéo mà cũng thua liên tục về chôn búa tử thân mà. Nếu ăn đi à? Chắc không à? Không tin. Không tin à? Hack tiếc à? Hack tí ao. Ra hack đây. Ra hack 33 tuổi hack đây. Xóa cái này, xóa cái này, xóa cái này đi. Auto mở trứng cho bố. Rồi con voi à? Cho broccoli. Năm mặt thì ăn cút. Rất thế nhỉ? Sống tốt 5 round à? Round này xong. Xóa tiền nhỉ? Xóa tiền không? Cũng mày sao? Câu 2, câu 1, câu 5, gì thua gì. Tôi dám nhót rồi. Không quảng. Đây à, giám đốc MVT xong. Xong là 43 máu vậy. 5 round sống 5 round nhỉ, 43 máu sống 5 round mà anh em. Anh nào? Anh nào? Anh nào? Cháu Hiếu à? Chú Hiếu tiếp đi. Này Hiếu à? Gì giống vậy? Vui mong. à? Hỏng rồi, anh đi rồi, anh đi rồi. Khỏe đấy, tanh khỏe quá, tanh khỏe quá. Làm phép mà chứ. Nào, thử hai chết, biết rồi. Yes, lấy cuối. Ui, được rồi. Nhưng mà hết máu rồi. Hết máu rồi, chơi được, chơi kéo rồi. Hết máu rồi. Đừng bố à, sao mai ba huyện thần tài chung bố. Ba huyện thần tài chung bố à? Đó, bố thì anh nổ 5 round kéo rồi. 20 thằng 5 round sống không? Không, anh thử xem có đang có cái gì à không? Cầm đi. Đúng mà xuống. Cầm đi, có chết đâu. Mày thân tay muốn ra mà nổ. Không nhặt được. Bán từ nãy rồi nó mới ra. Bữa ấy tao không xoay tao chết trước lâu rồi. Bữa ấy tao xoay tao mới đép được thêm một chút nữa ấy. Chết lâu rồi. Kéo ra từ đấy một tí cay một cứt. Đừng bố à. Tao gặp cái thằng mạnh nhất đấy chứ. Cái thằng mạnh nhất cái sự chôn đấy. Thì ra từ loại 2 anh đã khu hồ này. Và nó broccoli. Có hiểu. Nuốt broccoli và tận 2 round nữa. Sống 2 round. Sống 2 round nữa em. Ai? Ai? Sao mày lại cười nó? À